Good evening, everybody. This is Radio Station 92, and I'm your host, David, bringing you something that's going to be a little different tonight. And we're not just talking about headlines, we're not just talking about fear, loss. I mean, we're talking about a city that is caught literally in something that quite can't be explained. And the sad reality is that it probably should be able to be explained, but it's currently not. Anyway, so tonight's segment, we're going to talk about the Ladybird Lake murders, and some people call them accidents, others are calling them, part of a pattern, and a growing number of people, me included, are actually calling them murder. Now, pay attention. This is not fiction. This isn't a ghost story. This isn't anything made up. This is actually about Austin, Texas, and there is obviously something very wrong about it. So I figured we're going to talk about it. So if you didn't know, between 2022 and today, which is June of 25, there have been over 3 dozen bodies, 3 dozen bodies that have been recovered in and around Ladybird Lake down in Austin. So let that settle in for a minute. I mean, that's 38 lives lost. Men, women, young, old. I mean, literally found in the same area, a stretch of water that cuts through Austin, like right through the heart of Austin, and obviously if you've never been to Austin, it's a city known for its music. If you've never been down there, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's vibrant. It's got deep community roots. So makes it a little bit more impactful. So the latest was just this month, literally in June. Okay. 17-year-old boy found floating near the shoreline by a paddleboarder early in the morning. No clear trauma, no witnesses, just another unexplained tragedy in a string of similar unexplained tragedies. Now, not every case is suspicious on its face. Many of the victims were found at night out, often near Rainy Street, the Rainy Street district down there. A few were intoxicated, so not really out of the ordinary. Some had drugs in their system, per the reports. Others simply disappeared and were found days later in the water. But at a certain point, you got to start asking, like how many is coincidence? Right? How many coincidences actually make a pattern? And honestly, that's kind of a good question that I wish someone would answer. So social media did what it did best. Obviously, it connects dots or maybe drew lines where none existed. But either way, the results were the same, and they're pretty scary. So a name began to circulate within social media, and that's the Rainy Street Ripper, which I don't know if that's official. That's just something that's been popped up. So don't take that as, as law here, So it starts as a whisper, on Reddit, TikTok, obviously those Instagram, big name social media places. Then, came complaints, similar times in the night, similar victim profiles, similar locations, videos racked up millions of views, obviously, on the social media. And the theory that obviously there's a serial killer targeting people out late, snatching them from bars, dumping them in the lake. And of course, it sounds like an urban legend, but urban legends often start with fear, and fear needs fuel, and Austin has seen plenty of that. So families have stepped forward saying their loved ones were careful, not reckless, that they didn't just fall in, that their deaths were too sudden, too strange. And there was one woman that actually said that her brother was found without shoes, with his phone missing, and bruises that actually didn't match, like a simple fall, like some agencies might have suggested. Another father claimed that his son was drugged, but toxicology reports were inconclusive on that, so it was kind of hard to actually nail that down. And yet, despite the suspicion, Austin police have officially ruled only one of these deaths as a homicide. The others classified drownings, accidents, misadventures. But at some point, y'all, when bodies keep showing up, people stop listening to labels. And obviously, from the law enforcement perspective, you gotta see it's an active investigation. They're not gonna be with, giving out information that they can't during an active investigation. They're not allowed to give everybody information. So what they really know, they're not telling us, which again, that's a policy and procedure thing. So let's be fair to law enforcement. Not every drowning is a crime. Obviously, alcohol, bad judgment, nighttime visibility. I mean, these things do matter, right? So the lake has no railing in certain places. You miss a step, you're in the water, you panic, you don't come back up, you're not able to swim, etc. And Austin PD said in one of their releases that there's no evidence of foul play in the majority of these cases. And The evidence is a very speculative term. So even though there's no evidence, we still kind of want to know what the evidence is. What evidence do you have, right? I mean, they brought in medical examiners, investigated thoroughly. The detectives have come out, looked at the toxicology, trauma, time of death, and the data doesn't conclusively support the serial killer theory they're telling us, quote unquote. But it also doesn't quiet the community either, us included, me included, which is why I'm talking to you about it now. So you see, facts are powerful, and they are, but stories can be louder, which y'all are very well aware. And when families are grieving, right, and people are scared that no press release can compete with the feeling that feeling you get in your gut, that something's not right. And a lot of people have that feeling right now. So I want y'all to know the story isn't just about fear. It's about the people at the heart of it, and it's about a young man who never made it home after a night with friends, about a woman whose final text message was sent just a few blocks away, about a mother, brother, best friend, left wondering what happened, right? What happened? Which is a question that obviously needs to be answered, and the sad part is it might not get answered, you know? And it's about community. It is also. Austin is a city of creators, musicians, weirdos, right? Keep Austin weird, right? My wife came from Austin. She lived down there for 10 years. So, and she's proud of it, But now when the sun sets near Ladybird Lake, it's different, right? People used to go out and actually enjoy the time, enjoy the walks, enjoy the community, their friendships. And now there's caution, silence, curiosity, tinged with a little bit of dread. You're curious. You want to go out there and see if anything can happen. But the moment something happens to you, you're another story, right? So some say it's social media hysteria. Others say it's a city refusing to ignore its dead. Y'all, either way, it matters. Either way, at the end of the day, people have died. People have gone missing, etc. Right? So it does matter. Okay? So think about it this way. It's not just a story. It's not just a crime drama. It's kind of like a mirror. It reflects how a city handles tragedy, how police departments communicate or don't, and how families grieve, when answers are slow, and how easily fear can become folklore in some form or fashion. But most importantly, y'all, it's a call for change. It really is, In response to growing concerns, citizens have started petitions for better lighting, which is important. Along those trails, cameras, emergency stations, better light, at a minimum, handrails, y'all. For those that can't swim, they can't fall in. Just where's the handrails, Austin has a choice, and I'm going to be honest with you, kind of in my opinion on this. They can either listen or they can act, or they're just going to have to let the narrative take over. Until they do something, that's the only thing that can happen. So, because, and reality is the truth. Let's talk about the truth. The truth is, whether there's a serial killer or not, something is killing people near the lake. Maybe it's poor design, maybe it's neglect, maybe it's something darker. But until we face it, it's just going to keep happening, right? Just going to keep happening. So, if anything, at the end of this, let me leave you with this, okay? If you're out in Austin late at night, stay aware. Travel in groups. Watch your drinks. Look out for one another. Guys, just be a community, right? And if you've lost somebody or you know someone who has, we see you. We do. You deserve answers. You deserve the truth. Even if that truth is hard, you still deserve the truth, So at the end of the day, y'all, I'm glad I was able to bring this to you. This is Radio Station 92. I'm David, and this was the Ladybird Lake segment. Until next time, guys, important. Stay safe, stay smart, and do your best not to walk alone. We'll see you next time.